We're live again, everybody. I'm sorry last week I missed the live. I was driving to Florida, but we're here, all three of us. And what are we doing today, Ryan?
We're going to take a little deep dive into some hidden gems that you may or may not know about, whether it be TV series or movies on streaming platforms.
I'm James.
I am JP.
If you're a rookie, give me grief last week.
No, honestly,
I
I deliberately turned that up to make sure our audio was working.
And I'm Ryan. And we are your CineNerds.
So before we get started, while I was gone, what in the did you?
I looked at the camera and
The
picked it up. My
What
beard.
was that?
He's
Don't,
like,
don't worry about it. Focus.
hey guys.
I can't focus when you're like. Anyway,
You say that to all the boys.
So, so with that being said, before we go into this, Ryan went and saw JP went and saw a movie in the last week, and so did I.
Actually, I've seen 2 new movies
Whoa,
this week.
whoa,
2.
whoa! You left your house twice. Holy
So-
shit. Okay, well, will you do one, then I'll do mine, then you can go back to yours. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so because while I was in Florida, the family, we decided to go to Disney Springs. I'm shocker to all of you, I'm sure.
Wait. I'm gonna interrupt here. Hold on. My son and I still are intending on seeing the movie you're about to talk about.
I don't want to go into much detail.
Okay.
I
No,
just want to explain. Trust me on this.
That's
Trust
fine.
me on this.
As long as
I will
they're
not
in the
ruin it. I
movies,
promise. I'm not
let's
going
let
to.
our audience
I
have a
will
chance
not
to see
spoil
MCU.
anything. I
These
promise.
are
All
new movies, and we're not going to spoil them.
No, I can talk about it without spoiling.
I got your back. Ethan.
I was not going to spoil anyway because I don't want to, but I do want to talk about it for a second. But by all means, you go through your first one.
Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. I fucking loved this film. I thought it was amazing. And the critic reviews and the audience scores have been massive on this. And it is amazing. And I can't praise it enough. I mentioned it last week when we did our live episode. We were talking about female-led movies, and I made the comment that Furiosa will be good. It is. It is fantastic.
Can I ask you a question? Is Charlize in it? Does she like started out and it flashes back or anything like that?
I don't want to give anything away.
Oh,
I don't want to give anything away. I will say this movie has one of the best endings of any film I've ever seen. And this
So I'm
movie,
going to think it's trash.
this movie for me will be my personal movie of the year. I think. I don't even think Deadpool and Wolverine will be above this movie for me.
Well, that's a lot. Let me talk about that ending real quick. So, do you have to know previous Mad Max movies to appreciate that ending?
No.
Okay.
You will be able to watch. You can watch this movie not ever seeing a Mad Max film, and it will lead you up to Fury Road.
By the way, I could do a whole easy hour alone on the Mad Max saga, but
We'll do that.
Oh, he just got excited. Sorry,
James.
Yeah, James.
So while we were at Disney Springs, we decided to go see If.
Okay, yeah, I was interested in that.
Personal opinion, Ryan Reynolds, he doesn't do a bad movie. It's maybe not one of the best movies, but he doesn't do a bad movie. This movie was awesome.
Is this just like Van Wilder's a dad?
I can honestly say I never saw Van Wilder. But
That's amazing.
you know what I loved about it was it does as an adult make you realize that how it sucks that whenever I see older like people our age and they're still so creative and they're so imaginative, and I do look at that sometimes and go, I would have never thought of that. It does make you realize the older we get, kind of we don't have that wonder, we don't have the just that curiosity.
You mean you don't anymore?
Nah, I'm not saying just me, but like I'm just saying, like it was a really, really, really good movie. There were some spots where I thought it maybe could have tied a little bit better together. Not a big deal. Here's the thing: you got John Krasinski who wrote it, and he's in it. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, and the voice of the purple guy is Steve Carell. In my opinion, you don't go wrong with that.
I saw one of the reviews from a critic and it said Krasinski should stick to horror because they kind of tore it apart. But I think that's a naive approach.
No,
I think I think this is a kid movie at the end of the day. From my
It was
understanding.
made as a family movie, and it was a great family movie. Lawson loved it. Heather liked it. I liked it.
Did you like it the same way you liked what was the Momoa movie we watched? You picked-
Slumberland.
yeah.
I mean, I like that for different reasons, but yeah, kind of the same idea. But the way they did this was so good.
Okay.
Like it's got some sad element, it's got some wonder element, it's got some that was really cool element. And then at the end, it tied together really nicely. So I recommend it. It's if you don't like family fun, you don't like kids movies, don't go watch it. Don't if you're a horror guy and you're gonna just talk shit to talk shit, then that's just that is what it is. You have kids, you watch all of it. You have kids, you're not a moron. I mean, sometimes, but like you didn't like Slumberland. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But by all means, everyone's got their own thing. But with that being said, but I actually thought it was a really good movie, and it was done very, very well.
What was your other movie you saw?
My other film.
Did you go see Garfield?
No,
I want to see
no.
Garfield.
This one actually I watched on digital. It just released on digital because it was a limited release to theaters. Sasquatch Sunset. So, and I mentioned this film because I want to.
I think you might have an all-time new favorite hate of a movie.
Did you watch it?
No.
Okay. So
you explained what you explained, and I had no want to watch it.
I'm mentioning this film because I want everyone's opinion. If you actually want to see this film, to comment, email something, let me know what you think, because I am still unsure if the movie is a masterpiece,
all right,
or if it's a train wreck that I just couldn't take my eyes off of, because wow, what a fucked up movie.
Because it's current, I want to ask, where is it streaming?
It's only available to purchase digitally now, because
okay.
it just dropped from theaters.
Wait a minute. So you spent $20 or $30 on this thing?
No, I caught it on sale.
If it's Sasquatch, he's going to spend his money. Like,
yeah,
I've seen this.
It was $15 on sale.
So I'm gonna talk to you guys for a second and tell you, JP trying to talk to me about this movie. He said there was almost no dialogue. It's all grunts and moans. It's a Sasquatch family. There is Sasquatch sex, Sasquatch red rocket.
Sasquatch red rockets.
There is Sasquatch peeing on trees. Like, you gave me this whole breakdown, and it's basically
slinging poop at each other.
It's basically them following the lives of a Sasquatch in this thing, and they're making noises. And who's the main character?
Jesse Eisenberg.
And
Lisa Marie Presley's daughter. I can't remember her name.
She's a daughter?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, based on your description alone, I'm good. I'm all right.
The title, I was good.
The title's awesome.
No,
I'm going to watch it a second time because I have to know if it's a masterpiece or a train wreck, and I'm just not sure.
Wreck. I can tell you right now,
sure.
Don't waste your time. You already wasted your money. Don't waste more of your time. Am I wrong?
I'm there with you. I can't bring myself now. And when JB was telling me, he said, I couldn't look away. I couldn't look away, Ryan.
Jesus.
So yeah.
All right. So we're here today to talk about what we feel is some forgotten films, hidden gems, films that.
I'm just gonna be honest. My list is kind of stuff that like I watched as a kid a lot, and then I completely have not watched since, or forget it even exists.
And to that point, I think that's kind of the cool thing about this is we all have different ideas of what a hidden gem is to us. So my stuff's mainly a lot of foreign stuff that you might not give a chance to because you see subtitles or you don't want to deal with the overdubs, whatever the case. So yeah.
Who's going first?
Don't matter.
I don't care. I'm here for it. Ready? I'll get to start. So my first pick is a Hulu exclusive. It is a movie called No One Will Save You. This movie came out last year in September. I watched it in my 30 days of October. I try and do the 30 movies consecutively in October for Halloween.
You have that much time on your hands?
Every night when I sit down at night, it's usually 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it's either 2 hours of video games, 2 hours of me time, quiet, 2 hours of a movie. I will sit and decompress. I have to have that time. I even tell the kids to go away if they're down bothering me. It's me time. I need it. So, anyways, that's when I watched.
Neglected kids in October in his house.
So,
That's fair.
but No One Will Save You was really, really an interesting one for me because the reason that I watched it was because Stephen King went on his Twitter after he saw it, and he said that it was one of the best things he had seen in a while, and you had to go back 60 years and you had to appreciate a good Twilight Zone episode to really, really dig into it. And I did, and I did take that mindset going in. And it, the main character, her name's Bryn Adams. She's basically a character who, she is being blamed for something that happened with her and the boy that she was dating in the town she lives in. The town kind of sees her as an outcast. Her grandmother was her best friend who has passed away. She's got this house that she's been left, and so she's taking care of all these things and trying to hold her mental state together. And that's all in the first 15-20 minutes that you get out of it, and then the aliens come. And that's where it gets interesting. So there's an alien invasion that happens on Earth. It's done very well. Very, very little dialogue, more action sequences, her fighting the aliens. You almost get a vibe of Signs. You remember Signs? Mm-hmm. So you almost get a vibe of that with her little having to fight through it all.
Is anyone swinging away?
They're all swinging away in this.
Swing away.
And as the film progresses, you're like, how is she going to possibly get out of this? How is this going to end? And it takes a weird turn at the end. It definitely the last 10 minutes are like, what the fuck just happened? What am I watching? But it all worked. It all still flowed. It all still kept a good pace, and I was here for it. So if you are looking for a good alien invasion horror film, Hulu, No One Will Save You. It's definitely worth the watch, in my opinion.
Right.
I know everyone knows the movie, but I don't think it gets enough credit. Princess Bride.
I love The Princess Bride.
I know a lot of people who don't.
And I'll talk with you because I've never seen his film, so I was just going to let him tell us about it. So, Princess Bride.
I don't understand how anyone doesn't like this movie.
I would be.
I know quite a few.
I actually know a lot of people that have never seen The Princess
or
Bride.
just don't like it. Yeah, it's crazy to me. The cast was amazing. The storyline. I mean, I watched that movie a lot. I mean, that movie came out when I was 6, and I watched it a lot as a kid. And it's funny is I didn't like the Wonder Years, but I did like Fred Savage in that movie. I do not like the Wonder Years show at all.
I liked the Wonder Years when
didn't
I was
like it at all. Everyone loved Minnie. Is that her name? Winnie.
Winnie.
Oh, Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Wonder Years.
Oh, fuck
that girl. I didn't think that girl was even cute.
Out of your mind, and she's even hotter now, and she's our age.
Anyway, my point proven. But I loved the sword fights. I loved
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant was great. Hello, my name.
My name is Amigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Stop saying that. Even Billy Crystal.
He's
was
mostly dead.
Like Billy Crystal was great. The Fire Swamp was great. Like, there's just so many aspects of that movie that I don't understand why it didn't get. Like, I don't understand how people don't like that movie, but everything each their own.
To those that don't like the movie, I say this: inconceivable.
Yeah. And it's funny because I saw that movie, and then I started watching the Cosby Show, and he was actually a regular on there as the neighbor. So like, it's that guy. Every time he was on, I'm like, it's that guy. He's a kid.
Which one was the Cosby Show neighbor?
The Inconceivable.
Oh, it's okay.
He was.
Took me a second.
He wasn't on every episode, but he was a neighbor who was on the show quite a bit. So with that being said, I'm not going to go into the whole storyline of the movie. Everyone should have seen it by now, and if you haven't, just go watch it. But as a whole, I thought it was a great cast, and I thought it was a really well done movie.
That one, honestly, in retro, like thinking back, like when we did the nostalgia one, that one was kind of a hard one for me because there's so much to go down the rabbit hole with. But that one definitely should have a solid place in the nostalgic movies. And when I go back, I'm about to rewatch all the Deadpools and everything, get ready for Deadpool and Wolverine. And when I do that, I'm going to watch the PG-13 with Fred Savage repeating that scene.
Yeah, which is actually
Deadpool.
a fun version.
So I'm excited for that.
All righty. So my first one I'm going to talk about, I have a huge list. I'm just going to pick random films off of my list, but really the main one that I'd already decided I was going to talk about, no questions asked about my list, was a film called Detention. Have you ever seen this one?
No.
No idea what you're talking about.
Well, I didn't expect you to. That was really directed towards Ryan. This is it's a early 2010s film, early mid 2010s film. It has what's his name, Josh Hutcherson, that was in the Hunger Games,
Yeah.
and Dane Cook actually plays the principal. I'm not a Dane Cook fan.
Maybe I
However,
have seen this.
However, this film, did you see that new film that came out last year, Totally Killer?
Yeah.
This film is basically Totally Killer basically ripped this film off. And it is a high school slasher film that has time travel, and it also goes a step further to get even a bit more bonkers. That it has aliens in
I
it.
did not.
You watch shit movies.
I did not see this. I don't think he does.
And this movie is absolutely bonkers, and it is absolutely a movie that I missed. I actually didn't discover this film until like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and
Dude,
it was when I watched it, I was like, "How did I miss this film?" This movie is it's everything I love. The movie is completely insane.
What is it called?
Detention. Put Detention movie and you'll find it.
And you can watch this. It should still be on Tubi for free.
I do want to back up a second though, because I am a big fan of the movie Totally Killer. By the way, if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend checking that. Also, another YouTube or Hulu exclusive.
Yeah.
In that movie, is there time travel in Detention?
There is time travel. There is time travel. There's a slasher killer, and there's aliens.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm gonna have to give it a watch. But you know what I did love about Totally Killer, because it was made recently. It incorporated all recent aspects of where we're at right now in society, and it's funny too because there's like moments that are time traveling back to the 80s and coming back forward to now, and the things that guys were doing, whether it be bullying or how they're treating women. The blonde girl who plays Sabrina in the show, Sabrina, right? She's like, you can't do that. You can't. And she's trying to correct all these things that are supposed to be politically correct.
I was excited about Totally Killer. And when I watched it, I was like, this is basically Detention. This is the movie Detention
and Back to the Future.
Yeah. I mean, it's I feel like they ripped off the film Detention a lot in Totally Killer.
Wow.
And,
okay. I'm gonna have to check that out now.
It's a really, really fun movie if you like really insane films like I do.
And one of the I'm kind of proud about this. As I was on my list, as I was JP peeked over and saw my list for today's live, and he only knew one of my choices. So I was like, whoa, all right, where are we going with this? So good shit. All right, I'll go into the second one. So I'm going to talk about the next one. It's the one that JP knows on my list, and it's a movie. I don't know where it's streaming right now, but
I think it's might be on Hulu or Max One.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Hulu, but it is called Green Room. This movie was not something that when I first heard the description that I was running to, because it involved neo-Nazis and their way of life and how they were trapping people in a location. When you hear the word green room, it's referencing green rooms for like where the Brooms band stand when they go on tour. And this takes place centered around a band who is touring, and they stop at this location. And this location is basically run by the definition of white trash, who are
these neo-Nazi skinheads.
Yeah. But here's the curveball. Here's the twist, which absolutely drew me in once I found this out. The leader of the ring of the neo-Nazis is Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Patrick fucking Stewart, the nicest dude in the world. Professor X, Captain Picard, you name it, is playing the lead of a Nazi group. And I've never seen.
He didn't have to cut his hair.
He didn't have to cut his hair. But I've never seen such a brutal character out of him, and I was so here for it because he's just such a good dude. And you see him this way, you almost want to hate him, but it's Patrick Stewart and it's not real. But it's good. But I'll go away from Patrick Stewart, and I'm going to talk also about another Star Trek person in this, and then is Anton Yelchin. Now we talked about Odd Thomas prior, and how great of a movie that was. James, you still haven't seen that, correct? Odd Thomas, which you might like.
I'm not going to watch it.
So when we talked about Anton Yelchin, he was Chekhov in the newer Star Trek movies. Might put a face with some of you guys. He did. He died in real life.
He's still dying.
Oh yeah, he's still. Yeah, apologies, JP's going through a little cough, a little tickle in his throat.
Not like I was when we were recording our episode a little while ago.
But he's doing better.
I'm better.
But Anton Yelchin, unfortunately, he did pass away in real life, and he was killed pretty. It was stupid how he died. We were
Jeep
talking-
rolled back
yeah,
on
his
him.
Jeep rolled backwards into him, pinning him against his gate and crushing him. So, rest in peace, good sir. But Green Room still, if you want to see a good punk band oriented movie, going in with. I don't even know how to set this up. It's just basically like a murder venue.
Yeah, it's basically they're locked in a green room, and these Nazis are trying to get into them because they see somebody get killed, and it escalates from there,
Yeah.
and
Worth
it
a
turns
watch.
into a bloodbath.
Yep. And the shit that happens in it, like if you're here for gore and you're here for unique ways that people die and things that happen, this movie's got it all. So it's definitely worth a watch. So if you're not hip to it, add it to your upcoming Halloween list, whatever you got to do, but definitely give it at least one watch, if nothing else. Patrick Stewart, what you got?
Come on, Jamesy.
As a kid, I loved Short Circuit.
I rewatched both of those pretty recently. I loved them.
Because I haven't watched them
I
since I was
loved
a
them.
kid. And that's what made me when you guys said about this episode, I started thinking about things that I haven't seen
Yeah.
in forever
Yeah.
that I loved and I forgot about. And I had to really start thinking.
I loved. I rewatched them. It's been a little. I say recently. It's been within the past year. It's been a little while, but yeah, no, I loved them. I still loved them, and the first one is just as good, and the second one is just as insane. And yeah,
I'm not going to go into storylines on it. I just they're fun. To me, they were fun. As a kid, I thought it was really cool to have a little robot that could do all that, blah, blah, blah. And those were just movies as a kid that we had them on VHS and I'd put them in and, that was my Saturday after cartoons. I was throwing those movies in. So,
yeah, no.
Justice, this is probably like when he was 13, 14, he asked for a Cosmo robot. I don't know if you've heard saw those, but essentially it had a little charging base. It would park itself in there. It was like almost before we had the little vacuums, the Roombas, and all that stuff. It had a little charging port. It stayed on your desk, and it would come out, and it had learned behavior through AI, so it would act upon you and how you interacted with it. And it looked like Wall-E, but it had two little forklift things. And then when you were done, you would give a command, and it would back up and go in its charging port because it would locate it and go. I always wanted a Johnny one version of this. I thought that'd have been rad because I loved
Johnny number 5.
Yep. Very, very amazing. And just a great show.
Yeah.
Movie.
He's all about these shows.
Yeah.
These programs. His programs.
I do say programs. I do say programs. And my grandmother on my mom's side used to say programs. And I think that's where it stuck from. And I also have once in a while I even brought out clicker. I said clicker once or twice.
Christ.
My wife says clicker.
Yeah.
Pass me the clickers. I'm like, what the fuck is a clicker?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we were on tour. What did you wanted some? Oh, he wanted me to pull the plug. No, that's not what it was. What would you call it, a plug?
He knows. He
Yeah.
knows. He's
You
not
call it a
giving
plug?
you it. He knows. He's not telling you.
Because I was having a brain fart at the moment. And all I could think of was plug.
He wanted the computer unplugged. He's like, but he's like, the way he said it, I'm like,
I was like,
plug is what you put it in.
I was like, pull the plug.
I was like, do you itch your itch? Are you one of those guys too? I had everyone like just
No,
hitting him hard.
that's an electrical outlet. That's not what you put it in. It's a plug.
I
You
can't
plug it
remember. I
in.
can't remember the word he said. But he knows
said-
I was right.
I said, pull the plug.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That statement's correct.
No.
If
That's not what he said. That's
if
not
that
what he said.
is
Because that is, I can't remember what he said. Because I
I
would
did-
what
have said
transpired,
a
he's
plug. No,
right.
he called it something.
I did
else.
word it weird, but my
The way
intention,
he
my
said it was
intentions,
not right.
my-
Everyone's like, what the fuck
my
are you talking
intentions
about?
was pull the plug, but he was saying something and pointing. I was like, the plug. That's all.
this is the same conversation I imagine them having where they're like only 2 inches and one goes too far.
No,
and then
I was like, do you itch your itch? Like, what kind of shit are you doing? Are you saying here? Anyway, moving on.
All righty.
Fucking guy.
Hey, James, gotta tell you, man, those are 2 solid picks.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll agree.
Finally, we're don't flick us off. I'm giving you credit for a change.
They're feel good movies, but we expected that from you.
I think you just
Not everything has to be death and destruction.
It does.
I
No,
think
it
I don't think
doesn't.
he got the hidden gems message, and he's still on nostalgia. That's all.
But no, I agree. He's
They're
two solid picks.
Yep.
My next pick, my number 2 pick, is going to be, and this is a movie that I think a lot of people missed, and this is a movie that, to me, it feels like an Edgar Wright movie, and it stars Simon Pegg, Michael Sheen, and Nick Frost. Slaughterhouse Rules.
Did not watch it.
You did not watch Slaughterhouse Rules. It feels like an Edgar Wright film. It feels like it could be like Hot Fuzz or a film like that.
Well,
Shaun
that's
of the
because
Dead.
anything you put Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in.
But the film itself kind of goes bonkers, kind of like World's End and films like that.
Shaun of the Dead aside, do you know what my favorite Nick Frost film is? Attack the Block.
So,
Uh-oh. Ah! So apparently that's on his list as well.
so Slaughterhouse Rules is a school that there's like mining going on outside the school. Well, you find out that there are these like alien monster dog things that are actually living under the school. Kids start going missing, and it escalates from there. It basically, if you take like World's End, the Edgar Wright film like World's End, and then combine it with Aliens or something like that, and in a school setting.
Rules with a Z.
Yes. And there's a lot of really cool kills. There's a lot of just, if you're a fan of Edgar Wright, then if you watch this film, you're gonna know what I mean. It feels like an Edgar Wright film.
I love Michael Sheen too.
And Michael Sheen, the cast is great. Michael Sheen, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. The kids in the film, I can't remember who all's in it kid-wise, but they're all really do a really good job. It gives kind of a Stranger Things kind of feel with the kids, teaming up. It's a solid film. I think a lot of people missed it. I don't actually think, I'm not sure if it's streaming anywhere. I don't think it got a major release in theaters here. And I honestly do not think it ever got a DVD or Blu-ray release in America. Did it? I knew it got a DVD Blu-ray release overseas, but I didn't think it ever got a Blu-ray DVD release in America.
4K, actually.
Then they've probably, I know at one point there wasn't, so they probably finally did do a release on it.
DVD, my bad.
So it is a little harder to find, but you can buy it. It is available for digital purchases.
So YouTube, you can probably rent it. I'm guessing on Prime and
Probably,
Apple
yeah.
Currently. So James and I were talking earlier. So if we tell you guys where something might be located,
it's a loose.
Because like
things change.
Two of our last choices in the last cycle, when we started to watch them, they were streaming, and then they both got pulled and it changed. So anything can change.
And this was an odd one for me because I was like, I never understood why the release of this one was so fucked up. And the only thing I can figure had to be whatever studio did it, because with the names and the cast and everything, this movie should have been all over the place, and it just wasn't.
Number three.
So for me, this one is a series that is a Netflix original. It is called The Dark, and it is a German series. The Dark is basically, this one is so unique and well written that if I were to explain it to you, I'd probably mess it up. I will just say that there's time travel. There's 3 different eras happening, and they're all coinciding and overlapping, and it's a little confusing at parts, but when it all is explained and it breaks out, and it happens over 3 seasons, when everything starts coming together, you're like, I totally understand this, and this is amazing. Yeah, I actually got goosebumps talking about it just now. It is so well done. See my hair standing up there? It is so well done though. And this is a great example. I'm going to input this because I talked about it a little bit last week, and you'll always hear me beat this one. I am sick of James. what's 26 minutes and 20 seconds. You can use that sound audio later. I'll always beat this one. Anyways, I will beat this drum. I don't know what to say because he's just going to take it out of context.
Whip it good.
The current state of Hollywood is shit. It's garbage. There's not many original ideas. There's not a lot of good, solid writers and directors being given opportunities. So I've been finding myself going over to see foreign films more often. I see a lot more independent original stories coming out of Germany, Austria, Sweden, Japan, Korea. I mean, some of this stuff is just unbelievably amazing. So I highly recommend, if you are interested at all in sci-fi and time travel, and also things that are a little psychological where you got to start piecing them together and kind of guess what the next steps are. If you like that kind of thing, please, The Dark on Netflix. Check it out.
My
Number
God, James again.
2015, a movie came out that did $1 million in budget and only did $354,000 at the box office, and I actually really enjoyed it. The Invitation.
I'm not sure if I've seen this one.
I know this one. This is the one in the Hollywood Hills, isn't it?
I actually really enjoyed this movie.
What's this movie about?
It's about this guy drives with his girlfriend to Hollywood Hills to his ex-wife's home. She's having a dinner party and just shit goes nuts. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not trying to go into too much. I don't want to ruin stuff.
Is it go nuts like you think I'll like it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's more your alley than mine. That's why I thought you'd look at me and go, "Oh, really?"
I've not seen that one. I'll look it up.
I watched this one with the wife, but I'm having I'm having difficulty remembering how it panned out.
Anytime, what's his name? I gotta find it here real quick. Hold on. John Carroll Lynch. Usually, if he's in it, it's a pretty good movie because he plays an asshole pretty good, and he's in it. But I like I said, I'm not. You guys are going into a lot more detail than I want to go into because I want people to go for the first time.
You know what?
I just thought that this was a good movie. And I've only saw it the one time. I've always wanted to go back and see it again, but I just when I have the time, I don't think of it. That's what I'm hoping today it'll put it in my mind so I don't forget. But yeah, it was just interesting because it's like, why would you want to go to your ex-wife's house for a dinner party? Like that right off the rip, I was like, why is this guy doing this? Like, I would not do that. I've been divorced twice. Not happening. No offense to my ex-wives. Not fucking happening. Got divorced for a reason.
Is there an S there?
Huh?
Was there an S on wife?
Divorces?
He said wives. Wives,
And my
ex-wife.
ex-wives, like, why would I do that? Yeah, I've been divorced twice. I don't give a shit. I would not be going to dinner at their house ever.
Fucking Ross.
I can't say anything.
I've done it too.
Oh, I'm glad I only have one ex.
We are not as lucky as you are, Ryan.
We made bad decisions.
All right. Speaking of, hold on, I want to rewind. Speaking of character or actors who are good at playing assholes, if you had to choose an actor to portray yourself in a movie about James, who would that be?
Oh, I'm not an asshole.
Oh, if you had to pick someone,
Honestly, I would love to see a Ryan Reynolds take on my life.
That's a bold
I would
statement.
actually love to see that. Hey, you asked. You asked. What, I'm limited because you asked? I mean, you right now would be Adam Sandler with a little Nicky haircut.
Walton Goggins.
You wish.
I mean, listen, that's not a bad choice because of his voice. Your patterns in your voice,
Yeah,
similar. I'll give you that.
It's not a haircut.
I'm gonna regret this. Early Parks and Rec when Chris Pratt was overweight. I would choose
Fat Pratt.
Fat Pratt, and that has been my nickname. So I would have to say Fat Pratt. Or I mean, he's not an actor, but Chubby Brett Favre was the other one I always got, but I never understood that one. So Fat Pratt it is. That's
But
what.
watch The Invitation. It was a good movie.
Okay.
There's something new for JP to check out and tell me I'm wrong.
Give everyone, like, obviously, like, is it what genre would you place it in?
Well, I'll tell you right here. It says it's a horror thriller film.
Okay.
Which that's why I thought it was funny that I was expecting him to turn his head sideways like Stewie.
This is kind of cool
because I don't pick those movies, but I did like this one.
But I'm enjoying this episode highly because so far I've heard two that you have said that I haven't seen. You just said The Invitation, which I have seen, but you haven't, which is nice. We aren't used to this, so it's just nice giving us some new things to check out.
Okay, so my third pick,
Fourth.
It's not fourth. Third.
Fourth, third.
Still
Oh
third.
yeah, I'm third. I did start third.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So my third pick, since you already read off my list, Attack the Block.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Science fiction horror at its best.
The only movie I can truly appreciate John Boyega.
John Boyega, Nick Frost. And not only is it John Boyega, it's John Boyega playing a British thug gangster street kid.
Kid. I think this is his first role.
This was before Star Wars.
Oh, well before that.
And essentially, meteors fall from the sky into this block in England, and alien monsters come out and start killing people.
Anything sci-fi, you just
And these
blow your load
kids,
to.
these gangsters,
Sci-fi's great.
since guns are hard to come by in England, they're going around with baseball bats and shit, beating these monsters and carrying them around on their backs. Fantastic movie if you've not seen it.
I will further his choice and Attack the Block. If you are a fan of John Boyega, his acting, anything about him, or Nick Frost for that matter, give it a go. Especially if the sci-fi fans out there, because the way that it unfolds, and you have a group of little like hood rat kids on their BMX bikes kicking ass and crushing these aliens. I love the whole premise.
Yeah.
Everything start to finish, just so good. Nick Frost plays the drug dealer who provides them with their pot.
Yeah.
Everything kind of builds from there. So it's just a good movie. Solid. Good choice.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. And I think that's another one. I know a lot of people have seen it, but it's one of those that I know a lot of people, when I bring it up, they never heard of it, or they've heard of it, but never watched it. And it's one of those movies I watch.
Are you surprised at the shit you watch?
Yeah, but the cast alone, I mean, in this one, I mean, it has a great cast in it. And
I didn't even know who John Boyega was at the time, and
Yeah.
I appreciated his acting in this, and that's why I say his only good one to me. No, I'll take that back. I'm probably in the minority here, but I did like the second Pacific Rim.
I love Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
I love the second one. Yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4. All right, so this one's a little bit more of a serious note. This one hits home on multiple fronts. I'm sure that a lot of people at some point in their lives have had some kind of impact from the opioid crisis. So when I heard that Michael Keaton, Rosario Dawson, I forgot which, Peter Sarsgaard, I shouldn't say Skarsgård. When I heard those were 3 of the main characters amongst many others in the series on Hulu called Dope Sick, I was on board.
I thought it was a great show.
It is really an amazing and deeply troubling show that breaks out how Big Pharma introduced Oxycontin in a way of making it into basically saying that it was non-addictive and that it didn't have problems. The lies that came with it, the lawsuits, the legal things, the Big Pharma that pushed it, and how they protected these lies. It was so unnerving, unraveling, seeing the reality of it all break. And this is completely saddening to say this, but Peter Sarsgaard, he did his research for the role in Dayton, Ohio, where he did numerous ride-alongs, spoke to addicted people, talked to people involved in the opioid crisis, whether they're selling or they're the police that are doing the arresting, seeing how it's spiraling out. But all of his research is done in Ohio. And that probably doesn't paint Ohio the best, but at the same time, it did kind of,
should have went to Spokane.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave the venue. I was like,
but this show hits every check mark you could hope to see and won numerous awards. So if you haven't seen it, if you're not hip to it, and you want to have a deep dive into something real, please check out Dope Sick on Hulu. It's amazing.
Well, it's funny because I have the same actor.
Well, I know you love Keaton.
But I'll say that for number 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Disney on this one.
Of course you are.
Boy.
Three Musketeers movie.
Which one?
The one with Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, I love that.
Charlie
I watched
Sheen.
that one like a month ago.
It's great.
I watched it before we left for the last 4.
It is great. Chris O'Donnell, Tim Curry,
O'Donnell.
Oliver
I
Platt.
have never seen JP
so
go,
excited.
oh, I love that one.
He was like a Disney character himself. I mean, everyone knows
I
the
can't
Three
be
Musketeers.
can't be grumpy all the time.
You had 5 seconds to mark it down, put it in your calendar. Look, everyone knows the story of the Three Musketeers, but I mean, it was Oliver Platt, Tim Curry, Chris O'Donnell, Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland. It was everybody that was huge at the time, and I thought it was done really well.
You know what else Oliver Platt was in? Lake Placid.
Listen,
Your time was done. We're
Okay.
not going back into that.
but
Don't.
I busted his balls.
Stop.
I busted his
No,
balls, but
bad.
Lake Placid is not horrible. And it does make me look at every flatbed semi with something covered up differently. I'm just saying.
I remember seeing this movie in the theater.
I went to the theater.
I think I might have actually saw it twice in the theater because my aunt worked for a theater. So I got to, when we went to visit, I got to go. And I actually think I did see it twice there. But, I just, like we said, we all know the story. But, Tim Curry was
Curry's
great villain.
Amazing and everything.
Yeah,
so.
but he was so good at being a villain. Chris O'Donnell was, I don't know when he really came in. That's the first time I ever saw him.
I have an admission because you said Tim Curry. I've never seen Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, I haven't either.
Really?
Hmm.
I've seen both versions, the Roger Corman version and the remake.
We're not surprised. All you do is watch movies.
I mean, two, I get it.
Number 4.
Oh, you already done with?
Yeah, I mean, we all know the Three Musketeers story. I just that particular version.
They
I thought
may
was,
not.
Well, then go to school, read a book.
All for one and one for all.
Done.
The end. All righty. My number 4 pick is actually 2 films, but it's the first one and the sequel.
Rebel Moon 1 and 2.
Fuck no. We don't talk about Rebel fucking Moon in this house.
You just did.
Never again. Off limits. Forbidden Empire. And the sequel, which is the Iron Mask.
I don't know if I know this.
It has the Forbidden. Well, both of them star Jason Fleming, who played Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and he played in Primeval. He is mapping. He's figured out. He's an inventor, and he's figured out a way to accurately draw maps of the world. And he is going across like 1800s England and Europe, mapping out the country. The first film he rolls into Transylvania, and things escalate. There's monsters, witches, all kinds of just fucked up shit. It feels a lot like, once he gets into Transylvania, it feels more like Pan's Labyrinth type of film.
Okay.
The sequel, The Iron Mask, is a little more lighthearted, and it was done a handful of years after the Forbidden Empire. The Iron Mask stars Jason Fleming, but it also brought in Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan. And it's the only film where Jackie Chan and Arnold actually face off against each other.
I think I know.
And it's Jason Fleming's character from Forbidden Empire. He's going into China, and of course they bring in like Chinese magic and dragons and things of that nature. And I think that those are films that a lot of people missed, and they're fun films. Forbidden Empire is more of a gateway horror film. They're both kind of kid friendly, but feel very Japanese anime-ish. Especially the Iron Mask feels really anime-ish. But
I saw the Iron Mask. I don't think I saw the other.
Now I like the Forbidden Empire way better than Iron Mask. The Forbidden Empire is a lot darker because he's in Transylvania.
All right.
To finish off,
this one is my favorite hidden gem that I found. There are multiple seasons and a movie on Netflix. It is called Kingdom. And if you are a fan of zombie shows or zombie movies, this one is for you. This is a Korean feudal, essentially, era version of zombies and a plague that comes. And these zombies, not only are they amazing from the horror aspect, they are fast. They are thousands upon thousands of them, and all they have is bow and arrows and swords to fight them. which makes it even better for me. When you have zombies, modern era, and there's guns everywhere and people shooting miniguns and shit, it starts to get very diluted really quick. So this kind of brought me back to what made me fear zombie films in the first place, made me appreciate it, made me love it, made me vested in the story, and I'm really hoping they don't stop making this. Korean zombie films are doing it right. So that's it. So Kingdom, check it out, Netflix. It's my favorite out of my list.
My last one is The Founder.
Oh, the McDonald's guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. It's not
I
bad.
did not watch that, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I found it interesting. John Carroll was a good guy, and I love the fact that his brother was Nick Offerman, and they were the ones that actually started
McDonald's.
Yeah, and then Keaton stole it from him.
Keaton's the bad guy.
Keaton's the bad guy.
I know.
I found that really. The dynamic of he's usually the good guy. He's usually, or not a good guy, but he's never the bad guy. He was the bad guy, and John Carroll Lynch was like the big Ophi, like, hey, this is my thing, So I don't know. It's just interesting to see a place that we've all ate at 100 times plus. Even people who don't like it will still end up eating there at some point because it's just easier to know that that's where it started from.
What's the Keaton movie where he is it Birdman? Birdman. I have not seen that yet.
Birdman's not bad. It's okay.
I do want to check that out, but I'll tell you what. Based on what you just said, where he's playing a villain, and my impressions from Dope Sick, dude, Keaton has done nothing but up his game consistently through the years.
Yeah.
Already being awesome to start, but
yeah,
he Dope Sick.
I can't wait for Beetlejuice too.
It took me to a new spot with him though. Like that was I had never seen him in that position where he was a doctor addicted to drugs, and that's awesome.
He did great in that.
So The Founder, you said?
Yeah, and The Founder, he's a dick.
Yeah.
He's a dick.
All righty.
Roll it over.
My last pick. So I've got a whole list here of a lot of obscure films that are hard to find, and
there's some honorable mentions.
There's a lot on here I would like to mention, but they are more obscure. So I'm going to go with one that I think is great that a lot of people missed in the horror genre that is very easily accessible. And I'm going to go with The Burning, just because I just rebought it on Blu-ray. And have you never seen The Burning?
I don't think so.
Okay, The Burning.
If you guys, just saying this, if you guys both have a bunch of a list, just go through the list. You guys can sit here for the next half hour and just talk about every movie and every little aspect. And if you guys both have,
we're not. I'm not going.
Just letting you know,
yeah,
because I've watched you guys go down rabbit holes.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
The Burning, anyway. To get to my film that I was so rudely interrupted from.
Now you're just stalling.
You do it. The Burning.
81.
So I had actually missed this movie. I just recently watched. I'd heard of the film for years and seen the cover and never watched it until recent years. Yes. Yep. And just recently watched it. Actually, I recently watched it because the episode of the Whole Damn Enchilada we did the year 1981, and we were listing our favorite movies from 81.
You chose a year and went with just a year.
Yes. And
wow.
I think it was Ryan that actually picked Ryan from the Whole Damn Enchilada.
He's got a wonderful name. It's okay.
He had actually picked The Burning, and I told him, I said, I've actually never seen The Burning. So after that episode, I watched The Burning. Why I missed this film and why I waited to watch this film, I'll never know. Because it is a slasher film that is a camp slasher film, like Friday the 13th. I would say, in a lot of ways, this is the better camp killer film over Friday the 13th. And if you've never seen it and you like camp slasher films, then this is The Burning is the movie for you.
Nice. I've gotten a shit ton of stuff from you and you today, actually. You know what? It made me I'm going to check out The Burning ASAP, but I don't think Noah's seen Short Circuit, so now I want to watch that with him. You know what movie Noah loved and clung on to, which I'll bring up for that same vein? Batteries Not Included.
Never saw it.
Really? You would love it. I think you would genuinely love it. I know you've seen it.
I didn't like Batteries Not, but he will probably like it.
He will probably like it, but You didn't like it?
I did not like. Even I didn't like it as a kid either. I just
Really?
did not like it.
I definitely enjoyed that movie. Okay, so my honorable mentions. I'm going to go into some honorable mentions, and I'm sure JP's got a lot too. So one of the first ones I'm going to talk about is it's called Sweet Home. I don't know if it's Korean or Japanese, but it's Asian horror for sure. This is one of those. It could have been an anime even first. I don't know, but the live action version of it they put on Netflix definitely portrays like it was a live action previously, and it is done very well. It's basically everyone's got the potential to become these creatures, and these creatures are destroying the world, and they're trying to survive. People are trying to survive. So there's a theme you can see with a lot of JP and I stuff with sci-fi,
It's the same shit.
aliens. Yeah.
They might as well be the same movie.
It's not the same.
It's not the same, but Sweet Home is definitely worth a watch. You get vested. The way that it starts, the first season is really it's an apartment complex, and these people are on multiple different floors. They're trying to survive and get through it, and they barricade themselves in and protect themselves from the outside threats that are coming in. So, well worth a watch. Very, very good and very well done. Next, I'll go with all. Or do you want to go back and forth?
I'm just going to run through my list very quick.
Okay.
So,
next is All of Us Are Dead. All of Us Are Dead. If you have seen Train to Busan or there's a sequel to it as well, but if you've seen those, more Korean zombie film, but this one is a unique spin. You've got two people who live in apartments. The zombie apocalypse has happened. They live in apartments and they're across from each other. It's a girl and a guy. And they figure out how to communicate to each other. They're talking to each other. They're surviving it. Their apartment's barricaded in. It's just them. They have to figure out how to get from point A to point B. And the things that they go through in this process really are amazing because, again, you've got a unique approach at zombies, a different spin on the standard I eat your brains, I run slow bullshit. So I definitely enjoyed that one. More Asian. Alice in Borderland. This one was rad.
I've seen this one.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. So Alice in Borderland, this is different because this you have the people that are within the game that's happening don't really know what's happening. This is kind of like before Squid Game became a thing. This was out, and it basically you've got people competing in different areas of how to survive and how to keep going forward in a game. Very, very interesting the approaches they take and how they get through it. And the last one I'll talk about is a Danish film, or a Danish series called The Rain. This one I bring up because of Fallout. Fallout takes place in a bunker. Obviously these people come up from a vault, they escape, Fallout ensues. You get that gist. This one is a little bit different. This one, The Rain, because of the world, the rain has become toxic. There are two siblings, a brother and a sister, who were basically forced to stay inside of a bunker for 6 years. They come out, they face the world, and they have to try and survive. One of them has one of them is basically immune to the issues of the rain and the virus that's going on, and so he is special, and their adventure goes from there. And that's it. But again, all solid storytelling.
I've actually got a lot on my list. I'm just going to actually read through them really quick. Maybe tell you what genre it is. I'm not going to give you a description of what the movie's about, really. Yesterday,
then fuck me. I talk too much.
Yeah. Well, I've got a longer list, and I'll blow through these.
This list is like 17 movies.
Yesterday, which is a movie about
the
Beatles.
Yeah.
The Beatles.
It's in my queue right now.
Not exist. That movie's so good. Which is a Danny Boyle film, and the next one is another Danny Boyle film, which is Sunshine, which is a great science fiction film.
Amazing.
Next one on my honorable mention is Wes Craven's Cursed, which I think is a great vampire film. It has Christina Ricci in it, which I love. Michael Rosenbaum is in it.
I think I know that one.
Another one, I actually just rebought this on DVD. It's a 90s film called The Ugly. It's a kind of a psychological thriller in the vein of like Silence of the Lambs. It's a fantastic movie. It's a bit more obscure, hard to find, but it is available on DVD. You can find it. Another one that's available DVD. It's not streaming. It's an action film called The Taking of Beverly Hills. It was an early 90s film. Love this movie. Another science fiction film, My Science Project. John Stockwell, Dennis Hopper. Don't remember that one?
Nope.
Fantastic 80s science fiction film. Michael J. Fox's The Frighteners, which is
Hell
another missed. I think a lot of
Have
people
you seen
missed.
that?
That movie's so good.
You make a face, but that's something you would enjoy. You would like The Frighteners.
Yeah, Frighteners is good. Rawhead Rex, which is a Clive Barker film, and Remote Control, which is a 1980s science fiction film that's kind of doing a 1950s science fiction film that stars Kevin Dillon, which is the superior Dillon. Corey Haim's Prayer of the Roller Boys is another mentionable one. Highway to Hell with Chad Lowe and Christy
Holy
Swanson.
Fuck.
The Town That Dreaded Sundown, the original and the sequel. I think they're great because they're actually based on the Moonlight Murders, which is why I always found those movies really cool. My last one, another horror film, Behind the Mask, Leslie Vernon, a very meta version of a slasher film, and some of these were some of what y'all had mentioned in my post the other day, but I'd already had a lot of these on my list. So
Top 5 and then 17 more.
Yeah,
Jesus
but it's good.
Christ.
You know what? I like giving people some options. And I'm gonna add one more to my
It's like a
honorable.
year- Of course
Have you seen the Angry Black Girl and Her Monster?
no.
So this is a black girl in a project who is incredibly intelligent and has insane intelligence, and basically her brother is killed in a gang related thing, and she basically Frankensteins him. And it's that version of it, and it is so rad. But sorry, so obviously we can talk on and on about this, but we won't keep boring you guys that much.
James is getting mad at us.
Oh,
Top 5. Nope. Let's just talk about 30.
hey,
we
I
talked.
picked 5. I picked 5.
I talked about my top 5, and then I just did mentions of my
honorable
other ones.
mention, sir. So, anyways, hopefully you got something out of this list. Hopefully you guys were able to grasp onto something you hadn't seen or something you might want to revisit, and you guys appreciated this. This one meant a lot to us too because it is our 25th episode. So we're pretty proud that we're able to have built this into 25 episodes long now. Pretty proud that some of you guys care enough to stick with us from the beginning up and keep this going and building, and that you guys are vested as much as we are.
Rock on. Love you, James.
Where are they finding us?
This motherfucker over here.
Do you not remember the
Jesus.
conversation before we started?
You see that?
It's 5
6
minutes.
fucking minutes to go.
Nope,
We're
remember,
trying
he
to
started
stick to a
5 minutes
deadline.
late. Look at what time it is. Started 5 minutes
You're
late.
wrong.
I'm not wrong.
I don't care. You should have hit
Can
start.
you just do this, please?
Now I want to go really slow. Anyways, 3cinenerds@gmail.com. We'll take all the suggestions you got, throw them our way. And if you guys want to find out where that we are having our stuff streamed so you guys can listen to the audio, please check out the bio on Facebook.
Write us a review, and we actually have one.
We
We do have one on our Facebook, and I forgot to bring it up, and that is my bad. Sorry, James.
No, you're not.
And I don't have much of a signal down here. Oh, and it is from Keith Tatnus McCleary. Wrote, awesome show with awesome host.
Thanks, Keith.
Oh, wait.
So-
No
I've
S?
actually had some conversations
Did they
with
put
Keith.
host
Nice
or
guy.
hosts?
Host with
Oh.
S. It's
Oh,
plural.
with an S. Okay.
He's
I was
from
like,
the hills. He
I was
flies
like,
far.
which one? Which one?
My S's aren't there.
Your S's are there enough, my friend.
So, write a review. Go to our Apple Podcast, write a review. Go to our Facebook page, write a review. Click like, click follow, and please invite your friends to the Facebook, and invite them to listen on YouTube, invite them to subscribe on YouTube, invite them to listen on the podcast pages, wherever they want to listen to us at. And that is all I've got.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning in.
Later.
CineNerds out.
Maybe.
If JP knows how to work a computer.